Chapter 1 of any book gives an introduction to the book. Chapter 1 gives the background, the purpose for writing, and some setting. The first 4 verses of Luke chapter 1 gives the writer, to whom it is written, and the purpose for writing. Let us listen to Luke chapter 1 verses 1 through 4, the New Revised Standard Version. Since many have undertaken to set down an orderly account of the events that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed on to us by those who from the beginning were eyewitnesses and servants of the word, I too decided, after investigating everything carefully from the very first, to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may know the truth concerning the things about which you have been instructed. To whom Luke is writing, well, at least addressed his book to Theophilus. There are several speculations as to who is Theophilus. In the Greek, Theophilus, Theos mean God, Theos, God, and philos is from the root word for love. So philos means lover. So putting both parts of the word together, we have God lover or lover of God. So then, and we must note that names in early times, it carries a lot of meaning in terms of the personality. So names were not just chosen randomly, but carries a lot of significance where the personality of the person is. And so we can glean some insight by studying names. So Theophilus, being lover of God, it could say that Theophilus is a disciple, or at least one who has an interest in the faith. So some speculate that Theophilus could have sponsored the work. So maybe he's a wealthy person who sponsored the work, and um, and Luke was paying tribute by dedicating the work to Theophilus. As with many books and novels and textbooks, we can check the cover page, and the writers often dedicate the work to somebody, either to their mentor, to their wife, to their children, or wife and children. So dedicating a work is not new. So the work is dedicated to Theophilus, maybe because he sponsored the work, or maybe he was a faithful saint, one who kept the faith. As we would see in many churches, plaques are placed on the wall, as in especially older churches, such as Baptists and Methodists, Anglicans, place plaques on the wall dedicating and commemorating the memory of saints who have served faithfully. Or Theophilus could be a great person because it says most excellent. So maybe Theophilus is an important person, maybe a ruler, a governor, or maybe a simple person, but he's just a noble reference, maybe like how one would refer to the minister as pastor or reverend. Maybe the purpose for writing is seen in verse 4. so that you may know the truth concerning the things about which you have been instructed. So maybe this book is serving like a Sunday school book, or inquirers class book, a new members class book, which is seeking to clarify the matters of the faith. So Theophilus may have an interest. He see these events happening around him, events concerning the new faith, and he wants clarity concerning these matters. Now, there are some researchers who argue whether Theophilus could be seen as a single person, an individual, or can Theophilus be regarded as a community of persons, a group of persons? So, a church could be referred to as a Theophilus, a lover of God, a faithful follower of the mission of Jesus Christ. So, depending on if you are seeing Theophilus as an individual or a community of persons, it will affect how you interpret each passage and the message. So, Luke was a very good writer and a polished writer. And like any good writer, they would say, why am I writing another gospel? After all, there are several other gospels, some of which did not make it into the canon of scriptures. So there are at least 3 other gospels which made it into the canon of scriptures. So why is there need for another gospel? Just like a writer of a textbook, if it is another textbook on a particular subject, the writer would want to justify, why am I writing another book on the same matter? And some writer may say, well, it is not to claim anything new or to claim that the others are not important. So Luke here, he says why. He said why he's writing another gospel. He's writing to give an orderly account, to set things in order. Let us listen to verse 3. I too decided, after investigating everything carefully from the very first, to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus. So he claimed to be writing an orderly account. Now, if you read into what he's saying, if he's claiming to write an orderly account, what is he saying of the other 3 accounts? Maybe he's saying that they are not orderly, especially the other 2 gospels in the synoptic tradition, that is Matthew and Mark. And this is fair because writers of scriptures, they are not necessarily writing in a chronological order, as in according to date and time. Most times they are writing to make a theological argument. Even though you can get historical material and dates and time from some of the materials, but this is not their first and foremost reason for writing. The first reason for writing is often to make a theological point. So he is writing now to set the matter in order. I don't know if you want to consider that as being arrogant, as he even say that he had perfect understanding of what happened. He had perfect understanding. The way he set it out, I don't know if there's any sense of arrogance, if you pick that up in his tone here. So, Luke is a good writer. And we pick that up in his use of the Greek language. So the book is dedicated to Theophilus, and he he is a researcher, Luke. Luke is a researcher. He said that he had perfect understanding because he had investigated everything carefully from the very first. So he's a researcher. He has done his homework. And of course, some of the source materials that he may have consulted are, well, one would be eyewitnesses like the other apostles, but he could have also consulted hymns, hymnals of the church. He could have consulted creeds of the church, such as the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed, the Nicene Creed, and there are several creeds of the early church which seek to capture the doctrine and beliefs of the church. So Luke, has done his research and he is now in a good position to write an account. Join us next time as we continue our journey through the book of Luke.